Belly did not. Belly is, they're both doing a lot better. And Belly did an individual workout today, and he'll ramp it up next couple of days. He will not play on this trip. I'm not sure if he's going on the trip or if he'll stay here yet. Otto is day to day, but he said he felt pretty good today, so he's possible for Monday.
When you look at Kuminga, you've seen kind of an array from him already in his young career. How do you manage that, and how much do you talk to him just about the volatility of a rookie season?
Yeah, I think that's his biggest challenge, is dealing with the ups and downs, because he's had plenty of both. He's so raw and talented that the sky's the limit. But because of his lack of experience, he's going to make mistakes, and we just try to tell him, it's fine to make mistakes. That's expected. Nobody could possibly come into the league at this age and pick up everything right away. So he's done a great job of becoming more and more open and communicative, and he's getting better and better. You can feel it. His good games come now more frequently, but there are still going to be lows. That's all part of being a rookie, and we just have to keep his spirits up, because when things go badly for him, he gets a little down, and we just got to help him keep his spirit and his energy. You've had a lot of rookies now. Is he about normal for as how fast he picks it up and how he deals with it for most rookies? Or is it no, I think he's, every player is different in that regard. And some of it is just how much experience you have. A guy who plays 4 years of college ball is going to come in, way more prepared. Like Davion Mitchell the other night, for example, Chris Duarte a couple weeks ago. Guys who are older and have played longer, they have a huge advantage. So you get a guy like JK who really hasn't played much. It's just going to take him some time, just like it takes everybody time. But the ceiling is so incredibly high because of that amazing explosion and athleticism and power. And we see it in glimpses, and it's really exciting. And we're just going to keep working with him every day to help him continue to get better.
Steve, was Andre able to do anything today?
Yeah, Andre practiced.
Fully?
Yep.
So he will go with you guys tomorrow?
He'll go on the trip, yeah, and hopefully play on Monday. Yeah.
I think Andre said the other day something along the lines of like, when Klay came back, he or someone kind of nudged Andrew and said, like, don't forget, you still have to be aggressive. You still have to be assertive. Did you see that a little bit, or was there a need to kind of remind Andrew, like?
I think a lot of us told him that. I told him that when we scrimmaged in Denver, when we had that game postponed and we had our first scrimmage with Klay, it's the first thing I told Andrew. I said, don't defer to Klay, because Klay's going to find his own shot. You don't ever have to worry about Klay. But we need your aggressiveness to be good. And I know Andre and Steph have reiterated that message to Andrew. I thought there were maybe 2 games early on when Klay came back where it felt like Andrew was trying to figure it out a little bit, and it didn't take long. And he's been great ever since. And I really love the combination, of Andrew, Steph, and Klay as starters. There's plenty of shots to go around, and the more aggressive Andrew is, the better team we are.
You were talking about like the fact that he hasn't played much, Kuminga, but is his footwork more polished than somebody of his experience? It seems like some of these moves he's making, they feel a little bit advanced for somebody who hasn't played that much.
He's really an interesting player because He's got really good footwork down on the low block. We've seen a couple step throughs and drop steps, and he's so powerful and he jumps so high that all he needs is a tiny bit of an angle on his defender, and he can score easily. He's had some plays in transition, crossover dribbles, inside-out dribbles, where he's gone right around his guy. So I feel like he's had a lot of skill work in his growth, as a young player coming in here. So what he's missing is more game experience and more NBA knowledge, and it's which is great, because the foundation of your game has to be your footwork and the fundamentals, and he's pretty good with that stuff. His shot is really clean. He's got good form, good balance. So as he gains NBA knowledge and experience, I think he's just going to get better and better. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Even though you've said that, when James is ready, you'll say he's ready. But have you seen anything that is encouraging, I guess, in what he's been able to do so far in the last week?
Yeah. He practiced today and looked great. We didn't have any contact, but he practiced with the guys, and he picked up everything really quickly. I think this being James's second season, he's got a foundation of knowledge that is going to be really important for him when he does get back out on the floor. And so all the stuff we did today, he was really quick to pick it up and looked really good. He was happy to be out there, and we were thrilled to have him.
At 40 and 13, I don't know if you had a projection, but when you open the season, did you see things going as well as they have in terms of your record?
I wouldn't have predicted 40 wins at this stage, but I did feel going into the season that we were going to be really good based on how we finished last year, based on Klay coming back, based on Jordan's progression last year, Andrew's development within the style that we play. So I felt really good coming into this season. I think we all did. But we had no idea, what our record might be. So we're really excited that we are where we are, especially given some of the injuries we've had and the way the young players have fit so nicely into the season with their own development, not harming the bigger picture of wins and losses. In fact, actually doing the opposite. Really, those guys have helped us win games. So kind of the best case scenario to this point. But we all know that things change the drop of a hat in the NBA. So we have to stay vigilant and keep working, and we can't take anything for granted.
And how much more remarkable do you consider that when you look at Klay has missed half the season, Draymond's missing a significant amount of season, Andre's missed half the season. When all those things, and James hasn't played, when you look at all those things, is it even that much more like, okay, we're on to something? Or
yeah, given all those factors, I think that's where I look at the first 20 games or so, when we really, we got off to, I think, 18-2 start, best defense through that spell. The new additions, Otto, Belly, the rookies, Andre coming back. It felt like during that span we sort of cemented our identity. And once you have a foundation and an identity, then it's much easier to withstand the ups and downs of injuries and adversity of any kind. So I thought that first, 6 weeks of the season was just huge in setting the table for the rest of the year. And now we have a much deeper level of confidence that allows us to get through the difficult stretches.
And the last question on this subject is, does the record that you have now give you and your staff more latitude to sort of experiment and try different things? Is that a factor in the way you approach the games in terms of how you use guys?
I think a little bit. It's not really a conscious thing where we're really saying, hey, we can do this or we can do that. It's more, there's a comfort level day to day that, all right, we know we're in good shape, mentally, spiritually. We know that we have a really good foundation as a team. And so we're very quick to try something different. But it's not like we're consciously saying, hey, let's try this or let's try that. But I think it's, we've just got a really good vibe, and we've tried a lot of different lineup combinations that have continued to work. And I think, like I said, that's based on a talented, deep roster and a good foundation that we established in the first month.
Steve, I believe it was after the Dallas game, Stephen met Jada Curry, who's a Cal basketball player, wears the same number, same last name, and she was quoted as saying that moment kind of completed her life. I know we talk a lot about what Steph does off the court. Can you kind of just go to say how Steph takes so much time, obviously plays basketball, but those kind of meetings and the impact he has, even for 10 minutes meeting someone like that?
Yeah, Steph does stuff like that every day. There's an awareness with Steph, a self-awareness that's really powerful and beautiful to see. Last week when we were in San Antonio, he missed the game, and I got on the bus at whatever time, 5:30, to head to the game. And because he was not playing, he got on that bus. Normally he would go earlier, and he came out at 5:20 and he signed every autograph. There were probably 40 people on the curb across the street from the bus, and he came out early, signed every autograph, got on the bus, and went over to the arena. That night at the game, Steph knew there were a bunch of people, parents with their kids wearing Curry jerseys, who had bought tickets to see him play. He's aware of that. He understands that there was probably a lot of disappointment for those people who had saved up their money to buy tickets. And so what did he do? He went over there and he interacted with people. He signed autographs. He talked to kids, and it completely made a difference in terms of the experience of all those people who came to the game to see him. And so his self-awareness in terms of his power and his ability to do good, to make people feel happy, and to just make a difference is one of my favorite dynamics.
How unusual is that, Steve? You've been around the NBA a long time. I don't expect to use any of your guys as a bad example, but how unusual?
I think it's unusual for a superstar, like Steph. I think lots of players are aware, that they can use their presence to make people feel good, and that's something that makes them feel good in turn. But for a superstar who's just hounded and every second of every day is filled with one thing after the next, it can be exhausting. That's pretty rare. I've seen Steph. We'll arrive at a hotel in a city at 2:00 in the morning. There's people out there, and I see him. He goes over and signs autographs all the time in those circumstances. So it's pretty unique.
Steve, do you have do you feel you have enough on this roster for whatever you may end up facing in the postseason, assuming that you're healthy, that you have all the pieces?
Yeah. We feel really good about our roster. We're optimistic about what's ahead, but also humble enough to understand that there's a lot of other great teams out there, and it's going to be hard no matter what. Bob is always looking for ways to improve the team, and this is a week. Well, we got the best shooter of the day, and Juan Toscano Anderson. There's his belt. So.